now, should the Nigel Farage milkshake attacker be jailed? 0207 862 22 should she have been jailed? 0207 862 2222 is the number. 25-year-old Victoria Thomas Bowen escaped jail today after admitting assaulting the Reform UK leader in June during the election campaign. She received a 13-week prison sentence, suspended for 12 months following the incident in Clacton, as well as 120 hours of unpaid work. She was facing a maximum of 6 months behind bars. In his witness statement, Farage said that the incident had caused him concern about going out in public. So should the attacker be punished to the full extent of the law? The way things stand, she is unlikely to see the inside of a prison cell, Dawn.
Well, I mean, the thing is with this story, I mean, she assaulted Nigel Farage, regardless of what you think of Nigel Farage, what you think of this particular young lady and her reasons behind it. It's assault, and you can face 6 months in prison. Now, you know, the judicial system seems to work in this because there are obviously levels of assault. So I think, yeah, it's a fair enough sentence. But, I mean, if you assault someone, I wouldn't want anyone throwing anything over me in the street. If you assault someone, you expect a prison sentence.
OK, but suspended sentence means she's not likely to go to prison?
No, absolutely.
Should she go to prison?
Because...
Do you want to see... Should she see the inside of a cell?
Well, she assaulted someone, but there are levels of assault and no one size fits all in this, do there? I mean, I disagree what she did. She assaulted a politician. We've lost 2 politicians. We lost Joe Cox and David Amis. So we shouldn't give people the impression they can go around attacking politicians because they disagree with them.
But does this give us the impression that we're too soft on that kind of crime?
No, because she received a suspended sentence. So, it's a fair enough sentence for what she actually did. She didn't punch him in the face or kick him or anything like that. That would have been a more serious assault. However, it was a milkshake, but it could have been anything. It could have been acid. And we can't condone anyone assaulting anyone. It's just wrong.
Yasmin?
Yeah, but there's a difference between milkshake and acid.
But you don't know that at the time,
but we know it was milkshake.
Yes, but for the fear of Nigel Farage at the time when the liquid was being thrown on him, he wouldn't have known.
I don't know what he knew or not, but I think we have to hold some proportion here. And let me say this, it'll be controversial, of course, that it's because it's Nigel Farage that there's such a lot of passion about it. You know, people forget, Ed Miliband had several eggs thrown at him. So did Nigel Farage, actually, at one point, except he had an umbrella, so his suit wasn't damaged. There's been all kinds of... I remember Keir Starmer not that long ago having glitter thrown at him, OK?
Oh, yes, at the conference, wasn't it?
Yeah, remember?
So it's particularly hard
to me, really interesting that how Mr Farage manages to make everything that happens to him into a major national crisis. It's a skill. He has that skill, OK? But I'm not going to get that exercised about milkshake, sorry.
But so do you think that the sentence was too harsh then?
If she had gone to prison, I would have really thought, wow, wrong. It's wrong. I think it's fine. It's fair enough. But it was only milkshake.
Hold on, it was
milkshake.
She is a high-profiled... It's not she. Nigel Farage is a high-profile person, which makes this a high-profile case. Would it not be right to make more of an example of her so it would deter other people from doing copycat sort
Nigel
of
Farage
things?
is like a demigod to millions of people. Nothing should ever happen to him when he speaks.
Nothing should happen.
No, but there are many people. Listen, somebody threw a can of Coke at me on the street because they don't like what I think. I didn't go to the police because I just thought, we're living in this world. It didn't touch me. It didn't hurt me. But, you know, these are not things that only happen to Nigel Farage. It was in Piccadilly Circus.
But Yasmin, it shouldn't have happened to you.
It shouldn't have happened.
And I suppose what I'm asking is, in making an example of this lady...
That won't change.
Would it stop somebody then throwing a can of Coke
because it's about Nigel Farage. It's not about assault.
Well, this is about assault. I disagree. I think it doesn't matter who you are if you're assaulted, and you should have made a complaint as well because it should get registered. If you're assaulted, I don't care who you are, then you have a right to have that investigated and potentially, depending on the level of the assault, maybe a prison sentence. The problem we've got here is we can't jail rapists and child abusers at the moment. We don't have any room in prisons, so... you know,
or space in court to hear cases.
Or space in courts. I mean, there's a backlog of all that.
I just want to know, did we have these debates when Ed Miliband had eggs thrown at him? Did we have this debate when, you know, Keir Starmer? We didn't.
I remember actually having this very debate about Keir Starmer. when that person, where was the security, got on stage and threw glitter over him. I do remember that. Because it was glitter, OK, but it could have been anything else.
OK, let's go to the phones. I mean, if nothing else, maybe it is a check for his security as to how she managed to get that close to him. Duncan from Argyll and Butte, you are up first. Would you like to have seen this woman get more than she did a suspended sentence?
Yes, good morning, Storm. How you doing? Well, yes, I was just saying to your producer, yes. Well, you see, at the end of the day, I mean, it's probably too late now, but at that time, I think there should have been some type of justice. Even if he couldn't be given a full prison sentence, he should have, he should have got something.
It was a female, she, Victoria.
Oh, sorry.
No, that's all right.
At the end of the thank you. At the end of the day, yes, politicians are not popular, but they're doing their job, and he is human. He has got a family to go back to, and and I think it was very unjust, and because he could have been blinded, he could have been disabled.
No, from a milkshake.
Well,
I think we're going quite far to say that there could have been a disability.
I think the point Duncan's making is that at the time we didn't know what was in that cup. It could have been acid, and that is the point.
But are you punishing them for the crime, or are you punishing for the stress and distress that it caused Nigel Farage at the moment that it happened?
I'm punishing for if I was the judge, I'd be punishing for the crime of assault. I don't care who is assaulted. It's assault.
OK, Duncan, thank you very much for your call. Mary from Birmingham, what's your view on this one? Do you think that Victoria Thomas Bowen got enough of a sentence there, or would you like her to have seen the inside of a jail cell?
No, I think anybody who throws stuff like that should be jailed as a deterrent. As you said earlier, it could have been acid, and could have blinded somebody. I think it's an act of aggression, and they should be punished for it.
It is without a doubt, Mary, an act of aggression. I will grant you that. But we see it time and time again, don't we, in dramas and things? There's a man and a woman, they're sitting down for a meal, he says something terrible or she finds out something and she pours water over him. Is that then assault? Should that woman then see the inside of a jail cell?
Well, I'm sorry, I'm just talking about the Nigel.
Yes, but I'm asking how it compares with other people. Because the reason I'm doing that is because Yasmin makes the case that the reason this woman has been given the sentence that she has is because it was Nigel Farage that she threw a milkshake over. Had it been Ed Miliband, Keir Starmer or any other politician, they wouldn't have kicked up such a big fuss about it, and nothing would have been done. So should we all get jail sentences for throwing liquids over people?
Well, I think if it's well, you see, you can see Nigel Farage, what's happened, and it can be a deterrent to people who feel like throwing stuff, regardless of what goes on in the home. It can act as a deterrent if they see that person's got a jail sentence.
Okay, so you make an example of her.
Nigel Farage is a public figure. Obviously, it's going to be on the telly, and people are going to see it in the papers and stuff. So I think he should be used. That incident should be used as a deterrent to other people.
Mary, thank you very much for your call.
If they have got stuff thrown on them at home, maybe they will feel to go to the police about it.
Don, what do you think? It should be used as a deterrent? That actually she should be made an example of and maybe given a harsher punishment?
I keep coming back. Look, we should not assault our politicians, OK? They are elected democratically to represent us. So anyone assaulting any of our politicians, whatever political persuasion they happen to be, is wrong.
So the fact that he was a politician makes it different. So if it's in the context of a couple over dinner,
no, it's assault.
One says something.
Is assault. The fact that it's a politician is different. We've lost 2 politicians. They have been murdered by attackers. So we've lost 2. We have to be a bit careful how we handle attacks on politicians. And laughing and joking, oh, it's just a milkshake, it's not going to hurt. We didn't know it was just a milkshake. And the bottom line is assault, and you can't go around assaulting anybody.
Don makes a good point. When you think about the politicians that we have lost, this is a very serious incident.
No, there's a big difference
Is
between...
there?
There is. And, if we're going to, the difference between being stabbed to death and the horrible deaths of the two politicians with milkshake, I think really undermines the really big dangers that are out there for politicians and other public figures.
No, but
actually, if somebody threw milkshake at me, yes, it would be very upsetting. Okay? Or like that Coke can that was hurled at me in Piccadilly Circus.
Well, the Coke can, if it was a full can of Coke, is incredibly dangerous.
Yeah,
I mean,
it didn't touch me though.
weighty.
And I just thought, well, people are angry here all the time. And we have to hold some difference. There is a difference. And it's not just politicians. In that, I do agree with Dawn. Assault is assault, but there are different levels of assault. I threw, I'm sorry to say this, several years ago, I threw a glass of red wine over a really horrible right-wing male journalist who was really goading me at a grand do. So now I'm thinking, oh, it was assault.
Well,
I'm thinking it was a waste of wine.
Well, but John, you would say that was assault, that actually...
Well, it's assault.
that
Technically, it's
Yasmin
assault. In
should
the eyes
get
of the law, technically, it's assault.
a suspended sentence for that, or time in jail.
It depends on the level of the assault, as Yasmin's just pointed out. An assault could be, beating someone up, okay, or it could be throwing something.
But in these two examples, we have a situation. Thank you for bringing it up, Yasmin. I'm now going to use it, of Yasmin throwing red wine over
that
someone,
is sacrilege.
and it makes a difference. And here's why: because the damage caused by red wine will be substantially more than the damage caused by a milkshake. Milkshake is washable. Red wine, often not.
Yeah, no, obviously, and I would never, ever throw red wine at anybody. I mean, that is just such a waste, Yasmin. I expected better of you. But the thing is...
But see, now you're laughing and joking at that, which is fine, but we're not allowed to laugh and joke when a milkshake's thrown at Nigel Farage.
Because it could have been acid, and you knew that you were throwing a glass of wine over somebody you had a
He
political
didn't know what I was
with.
throwing at him.
Well, was it in a glass of wine?
If you were at a fancy do,
I was sitting next to him and I went...
The clue's in the fact that it looked like a glass of wine, I'm assuming. But, the bottom line is, it is, I keep saying, it is still assault. And I did throw a guitar at the husband once. I mean, that's not good, is it?
I hope he's watching.
Well, that's more substantial than a can of Coke. Yeah. I feel like what's happening here is there's more people admitting to more crimes. But I suppose when you get down to the crux of what the callers are saying, what Dawn is saying, Yasmin, is that actually maybe we do need to protect our civil servants, and maybe we include policemen in that, we include firemen, we include our armed forces.
Laws protecting.
If you were going to attack a member of our public who are serving society, almost during the course of their working day, there should be harsher punishments for that.
I don't think milkshake deserves harsher punishment. I don't even think my wine deserves harsher punishment.
But hold on, is this not an attack on democracy? Or
No,
do you see this as democracy, Yasmin? Do you see this as a form of protest?
It is a form of protest. And often people feel very helpless in our so-called democracy, the way how we discuss things, what you're allowed to say, what you're not. I think it is problematic to put milkshake in the same category as the really serious assaults or even the medium serious.
This is where this particular case, the law has worked, because they have assessed exactly what she did and sentenced her appropriately, I personally feel.
Beulah from London, what's your thoughts on this sentencing? Are you happy with it?
No, I'm not happy with it. I think no human being has the right to assault another, whether it be with water, whether it be with sparkling whatever. And as females, and as mothers, we are here to set some example in the society about standard. And my view is that young lady who threw the milk could easily throw the acid. And
but crucially, Beulah, she didn't throw acid.
That's the point. Hold on, that's the point. I've been sitting here and listening to all delegation and compromises you're making. There's no compromise in the situation. Anyone who will assault someone, yes, the law has degrees and levels for the assault, but there's a mindset, there's a sick mindset, because she has a right to say what she wants to say. The politicians are elected to do their job, and if we don't like what they have to say, we need to vote them out, but don't assault them.
Okay,
it's a high level of disrespect.
So there's a few comments that you've made that I would love to chat to you about. We are running out of time. But crucially, what you're saying here is anybody that throws any form of liquid on anybody else, we're talking about Yasmin with her red wine and maybe even a guitar in Dawn's case, are we saying that both my panellists should be in jail?
I am saying an assault is an assault. And if you throw milk on me and I thump your eyes out as a reaction as a human being, that's two different assaults. But you provoked me to assault you. It is not acceptable.
Okay, Beulah, thank you very much for your call there. I'm not sure whether we got to the bottom of that or not, whether you two should be in jail. We'll get to that, I'm sure, by the end of the show.